Well, it's the first primary market auction of the year 2024 in Nigeria, and T-bills investors have their attention fixed on the 56.5 billion naira T-bills auction, which holds today. Our traders at Access Bank expect market activities to remain subdued as investors adopt a wait-and-see approach. Uzor Anakebe, Treasury Team Member at Access Bank, now joins me for more on this discussion. Uzor, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It's the first T-bills auction we are having for the year 2024. Talk us through the sentiment we have in the market here and how investors are responding to today. Has it even held yet?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Happy New Year to you too. So what we have seen is that the market has been awash with liquidity. We saw system liquidity yesterday at $269 billion. This, however, is a decline of 543 billion from the previous day's levels. And however, we saw OPR and overnight rates still trading at 4.63 and 7%. But we expect this to go up today due to the CRM maintenance that was conducted by the central bank the previous day. Today, like you already mentioned, we have the NTB bill maturity, NTB auction of $56 billion, which is on offer. And for us here, we predict that the rate will be a single-digit rate, considering that the December maturity is currently trading at 6% handles. And we do not expect significant changes today. But it's worthy to also note that the central bank is also offering OMO auction today, and they have about $300 billion on offer, which across the standard maturities. And we see this also impacting in the market today. However, we may not be able to predict how the OMO auction will close because of the variances that we've seen in recent times.
Now let's talk about yields as well now across the benchmark bonds as well that we have. How are things panning out across the curve? Looking at short-term, short-dated papers, longer maturities, how are investors likely to position within this month, and looking at the bigger picture of the quarter?
Yeah, so in the short term, the system liquidity has been awash. So we've seen a lot of rally as most market participants continue to buy these instruments. We've seen the 26 and the 28 trading at 11.9 and 12.4% handles. And for the longer maturities, that's the 2053 and 2037, we see that trading at 15.5% handle, while the 2037 is trading at 14.4% handle. So in the short term, if this system liquidity continues to persist, we will continue to see some bullish runs on these bonds. However, in the midterm, we know that the budget was just passed recently, and the government intends to borrow quite a significant amount of money from the system. So we'll continue to see a lot of activities in these treasury bills and the bond space, and we expect the market to trade accordingly as to how the government intends to borrow.
No doubt the system is awash with liquidity at this point in time, but shifting the conversation to the FX market now, NAFEM rates, we're still seeing that depreciation continue. There have been conversations around the fair value of the Naira, and just not long ago we were having a conversation with Tiliwa Adebajo, who says, well, for the parallel market we should see a peg of about 1,500 to 1,800 Naira. But for the NAFEM rate, which is the official window, how much of a further depreciation should we expect?
So the market has been very volatile, like you might have experienced yesterday. The market closed at 1,089 naira 51 kobo to the dollar in the market, and this was about 232 naira depreciation from the previous day's level. So we've seen this volatility in the market in the recent times as most market participants continue to source of funds to meet the obligation. As you may already know, the government has confirmed receipt of about 2.5 billion from Afrexim, and this is supposed to help cushion the effects that we have facing with the FX challenge we have as a country. But we've not really seen the impact of this money in the market as the demand for the greenback continues to outweigh the supply in the market. So we expect more pressure in the Naira, as we've seen that market has traded as high as 1,260 Naira to the dollar in the official market. We may not be able to say how far this can go, but we expect that the central bank sooner than later would have to step into the market at some point to cushion the effect, because this is hitting hard on the average Nigerians as cost of producing goods are continue to rise, and manufacturers in recent times have raised concerns that if the cost of these dollars continue to go high, it might lead to further retrenchment in this manufacturing sector. So, like we already highlighted, that in as much as these volatilities continue to play in the market, as market participants are rallying around to see where they can form equilibrium in the market, we may not categorically say that it will go as high as you mentioned, but we know that with the current illiquidity in the market, the pressure is worse on importers and the manufacturers who are trying to source for effects to meet the obligations. So we might continue to see this pressure persist in the near term until the central bank comes into play into the market. Also, it's worthy to know that we've not been seeing a lot of foreign portfolio investors, but the central bank, with the conducting OMO auctions, they have been quite consistent in conducting OMO auctions. So we would most likely see some of these FPS converting their dollars to naira to invest in these OMO bills that the central bank is floating. So this we hope to give some leverage in the official market as FX continues to come in. But we'll continue to hope that things get better in the near term.
Hopefully things get better in the near term. Uzor, thank you so much for joining us today, and a Happy New Year to you. We'll definitely keep our tabs on the outcome of today's T-bills auction. That was Uzor Anakebe, Treasury Team Member at Access Bank, speaking there.